Climate change in Mexico. From information gathered from the IEA, we can see how Mexico's energy mix has changed over the years, from total reliance on oil to a near split with natural gas, which is 25% less polluting.
According to United Nations, Mexico is vulnerable to climate change, leaves behind serious impacts on natural environment and society of the country. First of all, climate change causes the rise of temperature called extreme heat. Report says the average annual temperature had increased by 0.6 degrees since 1960 and is projected to increase by 3 degrees by 2060 and by 4.8 degrees by 2090.
Other impacts include drought, food and water insecurity. As climate change causes air temperature to rise, more moisture evaporates from land, lakes and other bodies of water. In 2011, Mexico had its worst drought on record, where more than 1.7 million cattle died of starvation or thirst. Around 37.2% of Mexican municipalities present social vulnerability to drought. As a result, there are huge migrations of people who are forcibly displaced to other cities due to low agricultural productivity. When looking at the global influence, we can look into three aspects. Number 1. Heat. The current heat waves will leave the country at temperatures between 30 and 45 degrees, contributing to the worldwide increase of temperature. 2. Water. Mexico City, popularly known as the Venice of the New World, is particularly thirsty. 3. Agriculture. Climate change may lead to a 40 to 70% decline in Mexico's current cropland sustainability by 2030, and even worse by the end of the century. Politically, in 2012, Mexico was the first country that implemented national legislation within the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, drafting the General Law on Climate Change and becoming one of the pioneers at the international level in such matters. Not to mention, in the context of the Paris Agreement, Mexico accepted the unconditional international commitment to undertake mitigation measures to reduce 22% of its greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Which means reduction of around 1.520 million tons of carbon dioxide. Now looking into the challenges, the capital of Mexico is a megacity home to 22 million people and is projected to be the 10th largest city in the world by 2030. This will include a challenge to accommodate a growing population, where there is an increased demand for transport, energy and water. High population density and vulnerable geographic location mean more people are at risk when natural disasters hit. Financially speaking, significant public and private investments are needed to meet sustainable infrastructure goals. Also, the nationalization and acquisition of all privately owned oil companies and tight regulations from the government has stagnated the transition to greener alternatives. In fact, building sustainable and climate-resilient cities can turn risks into opportunities. Sustainable programs can lead to bankable opportunities for the private sector to make good returns, invest in alignment with their environment, social and governance values while contributing to a sustainable future. It is estimated that there is potential to attract more than 29.4 trillion in climate-related investments in 6 key sectors by 2030.